Hey everyone, Steve from Make Your Own Fun here. In this video, I get an original wired Gamecube controller and a real Wavebird kinda sorta working on the PS4. Now, to do this requires a few things. First, you'll obviously need a Gamecube controller. I played it safe and went with some old authentic ones. I don't know if third-party ones will work at all. I don't know why they wouldn't, but in this video I didn't test them. Next, you'll need a Gamecube to Switch/PC adapter. I'm using this quite popular one made by Mayflash that has a toggle between Switch and PC modes. For this experiment, you actually need to set it to PC mode. Again, I don't know if the official adapter by Nintendo has a PC mode, or if other adapters' PC modes work. The next step in the chain is a PS3/PS4 to PS3/PS4 adapter by Brook. At this point, I don't know how things work, but for some reason, this adapter manages to translate the output of the Gamecube to PC adapter into a usable signal. But alas, we're not done yet. Finally, I use a ConsoleTuner Titan 1 adapter and plug the existing chain into that, and then the whole thing into the PS4. One last time, I don't know why any of this works, but I found that it is the only way that it does. So take that for what you will. Now at the start of the video, I say this only kinda sorta works because, well, in this configuration, I only have a D-pad and 8 action buttons, and they're all over the place. So no analog sticks and no L3 and R3 either. And I also only have an options button, no touchpad button and no share button. Another thing, because the Gamecube only has 7 action buttons instead of the modern 8, the C-stick acts as the last action button when you flick it left, which is pretty useless, so I would try and avoid games that need all 8 buttons. B, A, X and Y on the Gamecube controller map pretty well to X, circle, square and triangle, but L, R and Z are all over the place as some sort of mix of the PlayStation's L and R buttons. Generally speaking, it's a pretty novel but definitely still weird experience. Knowing the limitations of this setup, I basically just tried this on 2 games I knew could work fine without the analog sticks at all and didn't need all 8 buttons to be playable. As you can see, first up I've brought back the new Virtua Fighter. Of course, a 3-button game is a perfect candidate for a controller with limited input, but I have to admit it's also just really fun to see this newish game played with a classic controller. It took a while to get used to the button layout, which I played around with, and also to feel how responsive everything would be. In the end, I managed to get an online match and actually mash my way to victory, so I'd call that a success. After this initial test, I knew it was time to break out the Wavebird. I gave it a little go on Virtua Fighter before I put on some of my favorite games ever, the latest wipeout entries via the Omega Collection. This also helps prove I'm not just getting this to work on a PC, and that this is a real live PS4. In Wipeout, the buttons again only kinda worked as expected when using the default mappings, so I eventually just decided to remap them to something I thought made sense. This was a pretty fun time, and I couldn't help thinking that funnily enough, and to be just a bit savage, this is almost the closest you'd be able to get to a modern F-Zero experience, I'd say, but I won't be mad if you hate me for saying that. All in all, I'd say this definitely has been a worthwhile experiment, especially if you love the novelty of using one of the most iconic video game controllers on some modern gaming consoles. Anyways, that's it for this silly video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.